Hi guys, I'm here at the IANS conference and I have the one and only Scott Drummond with me. I wanted to introduce you to him because he is one, a very good friend of mine, and two, one of the first people who encouraged me to share my story, and his is just fantastic. So I wanted to allow you to meet him face to face with me. So Scott, thank you so much for being with me today.
It's a pleasure
oh my
being
gosh.
here.
So Scott Drummond had a near-death experience. He has a book, and he's got a movie coming out as well, right? Can I plug that? Is that
Yeah,
okay?
you can.
Okay, good. Yes, I love to brag on him because he's such a beautiful soul and such a light. It's like whenever you talk to him, you talk to family. Like he just makes you feel so special. And he's one of my keynotes at the Truth Tellers Conference next year. And I wanted to allow him to share a little bit about himself, his story, and his representation with Cardio Miracle.
Well, first of all, Cara, thank you very much.
Aw.
You know, it's people like you that make this all worthwhile for me.
Oh, Scott.
We all have stories, and all it is a story. I had an experience 40 years ago and held it inside for 40 years, and a friend decided to approach me and want me to tell my story, and I told him no twice.
Oh my gosh, I remember that.
And the third time I walked away from him. But what it boiled down to was it wasn't all about me. And I was okay taking my story to the grave. But because of what he said made me think. He says with COVID and all the people that are dying right now, maybe you can make a difference in somebody's life. And at that point, I just still walked away from him because I was convinced I was never going to talk about it. Went home and talked to my wife, and she said, obviously, how was the walk? And because I took a river walk. And I said, the funniest thing happened. A guy wants to interview me and do a documentary on me and wants me to tell my story. And I told him no, and I started laughing. And she said, maybe it's about time. And she knew how difficult it was for me to talk about my story because it wasn't something I wanted to share. In fact, my wife Connie knew the most about it, but not everything and not all the details. My kids knew virtually nothing, so I would have never had the opportunity if I wouldn't have come forward for my family to really know what happened. Well, I went and prayed about it. And the first thing that came to me was it was all about the one, and I went, oh gosh, it's all about me. And I almost started laughing because I thought, well, what about me? Well, then it came out loud and clear that it was about the 99 and 1. And when you think about that, if I could help one person understand my journey and maybe make their lives a little bit better, and to understand that maybe if they have had a near-death experience, there are people out there that can help them through the journey. And so I decided reluctantly to do the interview. In fact, I sat out in the parking lot of the studio and went, I don't want to do this. I was in an old beat-up yellow golf shirt. I'd been golfing. I was all sweaty. And I was saying, I don't want to do this. And my wife and I, bless her heart, said, when she knows that when I tell somebody I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And so we went in and did the interview. And first thing I told Wes Lapioli was, just let me tell my story. Don't ask me any questions. And I'm going to walk out of here and nobody's going to care anyway. And
What? It was not the case.
It was something that I didn't ask for. Wasn't on my bucket list. I've been retired 17 years. And my wife and I were content. And we just bought our retirement home, so we were settling in.
Yeah.
Well, the story went viral.
25, was it 25 million?
25 million viewers now. And
Yeah.
it is just nothing that I would have ever expected.
But you deserve, darn it. I know that you say that, but you just do. I'm just so grateful. It could not have happened to a better couple, honestly.
I enjoy talking to new people that are coming out and bringing out their stories, because I know how difficult it is for people to talk about their experience, because it's, how do you explain something that you don't even understand? And that's why it took me 40 years to process it. In fact, I am here to say that I didn't learn very easily. 10 years after I had my experience, I got hit by lightning. And
right.
I looked straight up and I said, God, okay, I got it. I'm going to get back on track. You don't need to do this to me again. But my friend, unfortunately, didn't fare as well as I did. We both got hit by lightning. He ended up dying of cancer. And when he got hit by lightning, it went through and melded his L4 and L5 bones together.
Oh my gosh.
And he went through many, many, many surgeries and was never ever the same. And you know, he was an athlete. He played for Florida University. He was a lineman. He weighed over 300 pounds. He was 6'5". He was a mountain of a man. But it changed his life, but yet it changed mine too. And because of that, I ended up developing headaches. And the headaches were called my hemiplegic migraines. And that's where the vein in my head collapses and it acts as if it's a stroke. And I've been in a fog for many, many years. 30 years I've been in it, walking around with a fog in my head because of what happened with the lightning strike. And I came across a product called Cardio Miracle.
Yeah.
Cardio Miracle, after 3 weeks, I started noticing that my fog was disappearing out of my mind. And I felt like it was almost like clarity was coming into my life. And I was able to see things a lot more clearly. And couldn't have come along at a better time, because I love to be able to tell people what I experience in life. And my story is nonfiction. It is true. My story never changes. I've done well over 300 interviews around the world, and I enjoy talking to people about their experiences, whether it's in China, Malaysia, Australia, the Norwegian countries, anywhere in the U.S. If I have a chance to help somebody learn more about their story and try to understand what they're going through, I don't have all the answers, but what I can do is know that they've had the experience. And we have a great opportunity to share these experiences. And we run into people that have a good heart, and we know the people that have had good experiences. We know people that are fluffing the story. We know people that are true to their story. And that is what I try to recognize, is the ones that are true to their story, that don't know quite how to express it, and how important it is for other people to hear it. And that's my story.
Oh, Scott, thank you so much for sharing that. You are just such a unique, wonderful soul. Like, this is the real deal. Like, Scott is genuine, authentic, just good people that you want to meet, you know, that are out there. And I just happened to meet him the very first time I actually shared my story. And so when he speaks about people who were nervous about sharing their story, it was me, I know. And I remember that day I was so timid, and he was just sitting there staring next to me, and I was like, I didn't know who he was. I had no idea. But
Well,
two,
she was a deer in the headlights.
I was, and he was
But
so
she
kind
was
and very
hungry.
encouraging. Yeah.
She was hungry to learn about her experience and how to share it with others. And I just said, be yourself.
And and that made all the difference. It did. It absolutely does. And that's why I'm so grateful to share you. Can we promote your book? Can we just this is Scott's book. And you said when's the movie coming out?
Well, the book is called What Dying Taught Me About Living.
Okay.
And it is a story it's my story. It's not Cara's story. It's not anyone else that's had the experience, but it's my journey in life. It tells about before I had my experience, when I had my experience, and what I was supposed to learn over time about my experience. And like I said, it took 40 years to figure out. When the book came out in August of 23.
Yeah, it was pretty recently. Yeah.
I was approached by two movie producers, and we signed contracts in January of 24. So everything happened rather quickly. Now the name of this movie is going to be called Don't Look Back. And you know, you can take this two different ways. When I had my life review, my escort, or my guardian angel, told me don't look back, which I knew I was dead and that I was moving on into another life. But take it a second way. In this life, we can start today and not look back at our past experiences and start looking towards the future and what we can do for other people. It's not about us. It's not about the riches of the world. It's about what we can do to help other people in their journeys. With all the stuff that's going on in the world right now, there's a lot of unrest. And I think it's my assignment, my journey, to try to help people feel secure about life. Let them have hope. Give them some peace. And then take the same love that I learned from my Father in heaven and pass it on to others. And this is my journey. And my wife, thank her, she doesn't want to be on the screen right now.
I know, we tried.
We tried, but we try to share that with other people. Now, I'm not a youngster anymore. And it's taken me a long time to learn, and I'm still learning. You never stop learning. I don't prophesy, I do not preach. All I do is try to share the story that I have and try to share love with other people. And bottom line is life is precious.
Oh.
It is. Everybody's life is precious. Let's do it together.
Oh, Scott, thank you so much. I love you both. You know that I do, and I'm so grateful to share him and his story. He'll be coming to the conference in February 2026, the True Souls Conference, obviously. Is there any way they can get a hold of you, like online?
You can go to YouTube, that might be the best, or Facebook.
Yeah, I'll link both of those in the show notes below. And so you can find him directly and find out about Cardio Miracle and definitely like Scott's story, because honestly, your success couldn't have come to a better person. Your heart and your soul is in it for the right reasons, and I am just so grateful to know you and that you call me family, but also to see the journey unfold, because honestly, there's no one who deserves it more than you.
Oh.
And you're so humble. You're so humble.
No.
Every time. Every time. But he's changing the world, and I'm just so grateful to be able to see it and to bring him to you. So thank you again, Scott.
I look forward to coming to Dallas and meeting many good people in the Dallas area. Thank you.
All right, guys, I love you, and I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.